Welcome to another deep dive where we try and cut through the noise to get you straight to the insights. Today we're tackling a force that's, well, it's fundamental, it's universal, yet often really misunderstood. Intuition. You know it, you've definitely felt it, that sudden hunch, maybe a quiet inner knowing, or just that undeniable gut feeling that steers you, sometimes completely against logic. We're exploring this fascinating phenomenon today. Looking at the rumbling within, Trusting Your Intuition by Mark over at the Knowledge is King site. Our mission really for this deep dive is to get to grips with what intuition actually is, how it shows up in our lives day to day, and maybe most importantly, why learning to trust it can unlock some profound insights and, frankly, lead to much better decisions. Okay, let's unpack this.
Indeed, it's a remarkable aspect of, well, human experience, isn't it? Intuition. It's something pretty much all of us encounter. Maybe we rely on it without even realizing it sometimes, but it often stays wrapped in this kind of mystique. Mark's work, and hopefully our chat today, is really about pulling back that curtain a bit, helping us understand not just what it is, but how we can actually harness it, use it as a practical, powerful tool in our lives. It's about moving past just vaguely acknowledging it, towards consciously engaging with this inner guide.
Absolutely. So let's get right to the core of it then. What is intuition, according to our source? Mark defines it quite beautifully, actually. He describes it as a gut feeling or a sixth sense that guides us in decision-making and understanding the world around us. Okay, says. Now, for many of us, I think that sounds familiar, right? But then he immediately makes this crucial distinction that, for me, makes it so intriguing. He says intuition is not something that can be easily explained or rationalized, but rather a feeling that arises from within. And for someone like me who often relies on the data, the spreadsheets, the logical flowcharts, that phrase, not easily explained or rationalized, really jumps out. It almost sounds, well, unreliable, doesn't it? If we can't break it down logically, how do we even start to trust it? Here's where it gets really interesting.
That's exactly the challenge. And maybe, ironically, that's where its power often lies. Mark highlights that it functions more like an instinctive response. Now, when we hear instinctive, maybe we think primitive, almost animalistic. But what's fascinating here is how the source connects it to a really sophisticated kind of cognitive processing, almost like your brain's background processing running super fast. Think of it like Daniel Kahneman's System 1, thinking that fast, automatic, often emotional mode. It's not the slow, deliberate System 2 logic we're used to consciously applying. Yeah, this intuitive response, it doesn't follow that neat step-by-step logic you can easily lay out for someone. Instead, Mark suggests it's tapping into our subconscious and linking us to a deeper level of understanding. Now, this isn't about anything mystical in a supernatural way. It's more about your brain's incredible ability to process huge amounts of sensory input, past experiences, patterns, all below the level of conscious awareness. Your subconscious is like this supercomputer, constantly crunching data, seeing connections, and intuition. That's often the highly distilled output. It's like a summary report, but it presents as a feeling, not a spreadsheet. And that definitely challenges our default setting, which is often pure logic and external data, doesn't it? It demands we shift focus inward to really hear its message, to listen to that summary.
That makes so much sense. It's not about being illogical then. It's more about accessing a different, incredibly efficient type of logic. A synthesis of information our conscious mind just couldn't handle in the same time frame. So it's a lot about thinking harder and maybe more about feeling a deeper, more integrated understanding. And speaking of feelings, Mark gives this really vivid description of how this inner wisdom, this intuition, actually makes itself known. He calls it the rumbling within, which I think is just perfect. He describes it like this. When intuition begins to rumble within us, it is like a subtle nudge or a whisper in our minds, urging us to pay attention and listen to our inner voice. I love that image, the subtle nudge. We've all felt that, haven't we? Maybe it's that little voice saying, take a different route home today, or a feeling to just double-check that email one more time before hitting send. Little things sometimes, and Mark details how varied these signals can be, whether it's a sudden realization, a strong feeling, or even a physical sensation, like a knot in your stomach maybe. But he also acknowledges quite openly that this experience can be both exciting and daunting. The exciting part, I get that. It feels like a secret superpower sometimes, guiding you. But daunting. Why daunting? What makes listening to this inner voice so hard, even when it feels instinctively, well, right?
Daunting. Yeah. I think it's daunting precisely because it often asks us to question the very things we rely on in our rational, logical world. Imagine, you've done all the research for a big decision, a business deal maybe. The numbers look great. Everyone you ask says, go for it. But your gut is just screaming, no. That internal conflict, It's incredibly unsettling, isn't it? It forces us to face uncertainty, act on something we can't really prove up front, or easily explain to others why we feel that way. And this is where Mark's insight about it being a highly personal integrated signal system is just critical. If we connect this to the bigger picture, these different ways it shows up, like that sudden aha moment, connecting ideas, or a strong pull towards or away from someone, or even that literal knot in your stomach, these diverse manifestations show it's not some single abstract thing that always looks the same. It's very personal. An integrated signal system unique to each of us. For some people, it might be a clear internal knowing, almost like hearing a sentence. For others, it's more of a bodily sense, ease or discomfort. I remember reading a story about an architect. She was about to sign off on a design, calculations were perfect, everything checked out, but she just had this persistent, low-level hum, like an unease she couldn't shake. She pushed past it for days, but it just wouldn't go away. Finally, she took an extra day, went back over the site plans one more time, and found this critical, overlooked geological survey. It showed unstable ground right where a key part of the structure was planned. Her intuition, that low hum, was likely her subconscious processing tiny visual cues from the plans, matching them against years of experience, flagging a potential disaster. So recognizing your specific sensations, understanding your personal rumbling, that's absolutely key. It's how you learn to tune into this intuition and follow its guidance. It's about developing a fluency, really, in your own inner language. Understanding these subtle cues is crucial because it takes intuition from being this random, fleeting thing into something more like a reliable source of information. It helps you interpret its messages more accurately, more consistently, discerning the signal from the noise, basically, inside yourself.
That's such a powerful way to put it, developing fluency in your own inner language. And those manifestations, yeah, they're so relatable. We've all been there, right? That nagging feeling or the pit in your stomach telling you not to take that job or maybe not to trust that person, even when everything on paper looks perfect. And then later, you have that, I knew it moment. So, okay, once we started to recognize this rumbling, this inner voice, the next logical step, and maybe the most critical one, is thinking about the consequences. What happens when we listen? Or maybe more importantly, what are the costs when we don't listen? So what does this all mean? What are the stakes here?
Well, the stakes are quite high, according to the source.
All right, Mark lays it out very clearly. The upside, the big benefits of trusting your intuition, you can gain valuable insights and make decisions that align with our inner truth. That's huge. Imagine making decisions that just feel right, deep down, that resonate with who you are at your core, leading to, I guess, a sense of peace, congruence. Mark's really highlighting that intuition isn't just about solving problems, it's about self-alignment, finding your own true north. But then, yeah, there's a flip side, the warning. He warns that if we ignore this inner guidance, it can lead to feelings of regret or unease as we miss out on valuable opportunities for growth and self-discovery. It's not just about making a small mistake, is it? It feels heavier than that, like a kind of self-betrayal.
Exactly. Spot on. It's not just about a missed opportunity out there in the world. It's a deeper disconnect, isn't it? And this raises an important question. What's the true cost of consistently overriding that inner voice? I think it's a slow, maybe insidious erosion of self-trust. Every time we ignore that rumbling, we kind of reinforce the idea that external validation, or what society expects, or just pure rational thought, is somehow superior to our own inner knowing. We basically tell ourselves our internal compass isn't reliable. And over time, well, that can lead to feeling profoundly adrift, right? Making decisions that maybe they look sound on paper, maybe they get praised, but they don't truly resonate with who we are. They don't align with our authentic path. And this self-betrayal, it doesn't just show up as regret over one decision. It can become this general sense of unease or maybe unfulfillment, that feeling that something's off even when outwardly everything seems okay. It stunts our capacity for that growth and self-discovery Mark mentions, because we're not letting our deepest, most integrated wisdom guide us towards experiences and choices that are genuinely right for us, which is why the source's ultimate message is so powerful, reminding us that the intuition rumbling within serves as a reminder to trust ourselves and embrace the unknown with courage and curiosity. Mark isn't just talking about making a better choice in the moment. He's really talking about cultivating a fundamental relationship with ourselves, one that's built on trust, on authenticity, and, crucially, a willingness to explore life's often ambiguous path without needing every single detail rationally signed off first. It's really an invitation, isn't it, to authenticity, to bravely engage with the journey of becoming more fully who you are.
Wow. That's a truly profound thought, that intuition isn't just some handy decision-making tool, but actually a pathway, a path to deeper self-understanding, personal growth, fundamentally about trusting ourselves. So just to quickly recap what we've explored today, Intuition's that deep inner guide, that gut feeling. It can't always be rationalized by our conscious mind, but it bubbles up from within, tapping into our subconscious supercomputer, processing vast amounts of info. It shows up in subtle nudges, whispers, strong feelings, even physical sensations, a very personal signal system for each of us. And when we learn to listen, to heed it, it offers valuable insights, helps us make decisions that truly align with our inner truth. And ultimately, it urges us, as the Source says, to trust ourselves and embrace that inner wisdom.
Exactly. And this whole journey of trusting ourselves, of embracing the unknown with courage and curiosity, it brings us to a fascinating final thought, something for you to consider. If learning to trust your intuition really means embracing the unknown with courage and curiosity, how might actively cultivating this practice day by day, how might that not only transform your decision making, but maybe fundamentally alter your perception of certainty and risk in your daily life? Could it be? Could it be that true certainty doesn't actually come from external validation or having all the facts lined up, but maybe from an unwavering connection to your own inner knowing?
That really is a powerful question to sit with, isn't it?
Hmm.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the rumbling within. I definitely encourage you to pay a little more attention to your own inner nudges this week. Just listen for that subtle rumble. You might genuinely be surprised at what profound insights you uncover. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into something equally fascinating. Until then, keep digging deeper.